the man. I'm like, come on, man, this is magic. And when we got on there, you asked what questions we had, and I think all I said was, "This thing real?" And you would, yeah.
Hello and welcome to a spotlight interview with my good friends Doug Rankin and Randy Reed of Dojo Max. And these guys are awesome guys. Yeah, it's right there on the wall.
Right on the wall.
Yeah, that's right. These guys, I think, have an awesome story, have a really cool model. And before we jump into it, tell us what Dojo Max. I'm going to go to the man with the Dojo Max in the background. Randy, tell us what Dojo Max is, and we'll start there. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, simply put, Dojo Max is a service that's going to make martial arts school owners money and save them time in that order. And I've been involved in martial arts for over 50 years. Doug's pretty close. He's a young man. He's about 10 years behind me. And at one point I had a couple dozen martial arts schools up in the Wisconsin area. So I've been around it. I've seen what it takes to run a martial arts school. And I've been observing what can we do, or what can be done with technology that can pull some of the responsibilities of school ownership away from them and outsource it. And so one of the opportunities, or one of the systems we found, was UpHex, which you guys are doing. And it's worked out to be a real asset for us. And so we were going through a series of, as we said, lead gen deals. And now we've kind of transitioned into what we feel our best and highest use can be, this VA virtual assistant program, to where we help with lead generation. We put them into lead follow-up. And part of that lead generation is using UpHex, which has made us so much more efficient and so much more, I guess another word I kind of like to use is it makes us comfortable, because we're part of the UpHex community, and we're not out there swinging in the dark and hoping we hit something. If we have a question, we've got a place we can go. We have tons of data that we can make for our people. If something's not, and as you know, the god of marketing is an evil guy. What works in one area, it could be the same demographics, the same everything, and the damn ad doesn't perform the same way. And so now, instead of murdering ourselves going through 30 Facebook ads managers that may or may not be the same as they were yesterday, we can run through our metrics. We can quickly, easily, and efficiently take care of our customers.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. Love every minute of it.
Well, I love it. I'll go back in time just a little bit, because I think if people are watching this, they're either using UpHex or considering UpHex. And you guys were in the first cohort of people that found UpHex after the spotlight that High Level did with us back in December. And so you were in that first group. And I remember doing a demo much like this. I think there was one other person on the call with
Francisco.
us. Yeah. And I would say, I didn't necessarily feel at the time that you guys had a huge background in lead generation. I'll say it that way.
Say it. You thought we're old and dumb. You can go ahead and say it. You can go ahead and say it.
I didn't say that. But it was funny because you came in, and I knew maybe you didn't have the same level of experience in lead generation, but I also knew, I'm like, oh, well, if anybody's going to figure it out, it will be these guys. People that live the type of lifestyle and that teach what you teach. So I'm thinking to myself, I'll be interested to see what you end up doing. And I was telling you just a minute ago, flash forward maybe a month or something later. And I was, in my car, went to the gas station to get a soda, came out, and I was looking, and I saw a live video that you and Doug were doing in a webinar format. And I'm like, I got to watch. I'm very curious. I want to see what these guys have been up to. Check this out.
What do people do?
Yeah, well, I mean, curiosity got me. I'm thinking, and I'm watching this video, I'm thinking, wow, these guys are good. They know how to sell. They know how to talk to their audience. They know how to deconstruct the problems that, I mean, if you're trying to grow a dojo, or any business for that matter, if you're trying to grow a dojo, marketing has got to be a part of that. And I'm listening to you deconstruct that problem as it relates to your avatar. So to a dojo, to a dojo owner. And I was just like, these guys, they've figured it out. They're doing it. That's amazing. So I went back and I asked Bradley, how many connections do they have? What are they doing? And you guys had really done it. Like, I was super impressed. I want the viewer to maybe kind of understand your transition. And I don't have to say the number of connections if I won't say anything, but it was a good amount, a lot more than what a number, like most agencies don't get more than 10, 15, 20. And you guys were well past that. But I'm thinking they came in with a level of lead generation experience and what they have today and what they're producing. By the way, Doug, I see your posts on like what you guys produce, and this many leads, this cost. Talk to me about what you knew about lead generation coming into your UpHex journey. I'll go to Doug, coming into it, and then how, in terms of results, how you guys feel like you're delivering to the people who use your campaigns.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. The level of experience is dependent on the number of mistakes that everybody makes as they go through a new Facebook ads. And so yeah. I've had a lot of practice over the years, along with Randy, screwing a lot of stuff up, and then getting involved with UpHex and having the opportunity to be able to create the templates and all of those kinds of things, and then finding our avatar. So for us, it started with single owner martial artists, really, that just don't have a lot of time to get stuff done. So, again, the whole goal was to save them time and make them money, which is right behind Randy's wall there. So we wanted to make sure that we could do that via UpHex, because again, it's so easy to sit down there and go, hey, all you have to do is click this, this, and that, and you're done. And the ads are automatically put into Facebook. Having a great team on the back end of that, being able to look at the numbers and tell our client, hey, this ad's not working out for you, or, have you paid attention to how many leads you got in? There was a gentleman, when did we onboard him, Randy? Just a couple of days ago. And he was already he wanted us to turn ads off because he had so many leads in already.
Yeah, that was late Saturday afternoon. We got him onboarded. He called yesterday morning, said, you're killing us. So
that's good.
Well, and then what I did was, he hadn't got some, I needed something from, he was going to do a testimonial. And I said, if you don't do a testimonial for us, we're going to turn your ads back on again and make it work. So, yeah.
That's a pretty unique threat.
Yeah.
It's not often that you have to threaten somebody with bringing them more business. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, well, awesome. I'm going back to March 3rd, and maybe I'll superimpose this in the video, but I'm going back to this, right?
What a cute
I don't know how well you can see it. Sorry. Anyway, it's terrible in the video, but I'm going back. So you said UpHex is super easy to use, even for this old guy. Now, the reason that you wrote that, I remember having a conversation with you. You guys came in, and Randy, you had said something to me in that call that stuck with me, and you reiterated, I think just a minute ago. Is it that easy? Can it really be that easy? And I don't know which one of you are more concerned about. I said, yes, it is. It actually is that easy. You upload the template, and then once you're done, boom, 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 3 clicks, that thing's going. And it's funny because you had either reached out to me, Doug, or something, and he goes, I just did it. It actually is that easy. I'm like, post in the group, let other people know. You posted that video that I just showed. But talk to me about using it. And by the way, you guys used it in I guess that was March. So you guys used it in the very beginning of us letting other agencies use it.
Yeah. Right.
And that's a lot different than where we're at today. Today, It's way easier to use. Talk to me about that experience, about using it for the first time, how simple it was for you guys.
Well, there's a saying that I ran across somewhere, and it said, any technology that's sufficiently advanced will appear as magic. And, not using and honestly, I didn't use the Facebook manager. I hired other people to do it. And I hired a bunch of different people to do it, and they didn't do very well either. And so when you said, look, we could bypass the man, I'm like, come on, man. This is magic. And when we got on there, you asked what questions we had, and I think all I said was, this thing real? And you would, yeah. And we filmed Doug running an ad in 3 clicks. And me and Doug have a saying for our company: 2 men, half a brain. So between the two of us, we're just about halfway there. And so we're like, dang, we're out here running ads, we're comparing data, and Doug is consistently in the top 3 or 2 or usually 1 of our clients that are running the ads. And Doug didn't graduate with a marketing degree. And so it's been a unique experience to be able to do this. And I think that we're going to be able to even grow this more, being connected with what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doug. I'd say Doug knows how to answer text messages, answer his phone, and send some stuff through Slack. And then anything beyond that, I just give it to a 7-year-old and go, here, make it do this for me.
Right.
So
That's amazing.
That's how easy UpHex is to use.
Yeah.
Wow.
And basically anybody that's running ads, or more importantly, paying someone to do ads for them. I mean, the power of this thing first is the simplicity of it, of course. Simplicity doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if you got a screwdriver if you don't know how to do anything with a screwdriver. So being able to be a part of your guys' motivated community, you got a lot of shakers and movers and everybody's in there. Being a part of that, as we talked about, looking around corners, is really important. And then knowing that we've got the data, and anybody that's going to go into a niche, and we have, like, I'm sure, and I think you posted it, you were one of the something about honesty, but you're really honest on this. 100% of them don't work. You have to go in and you have to do adjustments, and you have to sometimes maybe they just flat don't work. I don't know. But to be able to be a part of the database to say, all right, this is working here, so it's not that problem. So now let's move on to try something different. And there's an even more time savings on that part.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of discussion in the media buying community. A lot of people talk about seasoning pixels, right? Meaning, if you have 50 clients and you're running the same ad in those 50 separate locations. Years ago, people would talk about having the same pixel be embedded in each of the campaigns, so you could get all of this like conversion data on one pixel. And that was like this holy grail thing that people would talk about. And some people like, oh, that's how we do it, this, that, and the other. And what's funny is, personally, I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like anything where it's like silver bullet like holy grail And so our idea, and the whole thing what you're kind of alluding to, is I flipped that. Like, the whole idea, I wanted to flip that. I don't want to season the pixel. I want to season the advertising, right? Because if I season the advertising, what I mean by that, if I'm running that ad on 50 different locations, and I can click a button and see whoop, all of the performance metrics by location, I'm like, hey, there's a trend in the link click-through rate. We've got to improve the image. Okay, because the conversion rate, meaning the offer that people are seeing when they click through, they're good. They like it. It's above 10% conversion rate. They like that. Cool. But if the link click-through rate is like 0.5, I'm like, we have a problem with the hook, with the creative. So we got to fix this. And then if I'm looking at the CPMs, I'm like, oh, look at our trend in CPMs. If our trend is going up, okay, we really have a problem with our initial 3 seconds. We're not getting enough people in the initial 3 seconds. So like, there's all of these metrics that if you can look at them, you're like, oh, cool, let's change the headline. Oh, cool, let's try a different image. Right. And you start to do a couple little things. It took us when we first started using UpHex in our own agency, it took us maybe 2 to 3 months. Maybe not even that long. I'd have to ask Jacob. That's his job. It took us about 2 to 3 months, and we haven't changed them in 2 years.
Yeah.
And anytime I flip them on, boop, they just go every single time, and they get consistent results because I seasoned the creative. I seasoned the art. And I think a lot of people are so infatuated with the technical, where at UpEx, all we did was automate the technical.
Yeah, right.
We're just here to automate the technical so you can focus. I mean, you look at my desk right now, you probably can't see those, but it's all copywriting. That's all it is. That's the only thing I want to be really good at is copywriting. I want to know how to put salesmanship in print the best way possible. Like, what are the best hooks? What are the best ways to open up a conversation? How can I be more creative? I was, and this is actually something I'm going to be sharing in a Watch Me build soon. I did this comparison between a certain video format where I show how to demonstrate something really quick, and then an image. The video that demonstrated the thing really quick and had like a very specific format outproduced the image by 4 times. And I did that, by the way. I was like, oh, that was really interesting. So I did it again, and it worked again, and did it again, and it worked again. I did it 4 times, and now that is the way that we do it every time.
Yeah.
Right. And anyway, long story short, you find these creative formulas that, in a sense, can become silver bullets, right? Anyway, so I love that you kind of went that direction. I think really understanding advertising, like the art of advertising, to be a madman, to be on Madison Avenue, you had to know human psychology. That to me is what I want to be when I grow up.
Right.
The madman.
Have you heard of a guy named Roy Williams?
Maybe.
He wrote a series of books. I actually found him in a bookstore in the Milwaukee airport, and he's back from the day that was all copywriting. And man, he did a deal where it was for a Rolex watch, and he goes, "Here's how we did it. This Rolex watch is solid gold with the diamonds, and this thing will last." Then he goes, and then he goes, "It could read like this." As he comes over the crest of the tallest mountain in the world, his hand reaches into the sun and reflects off his Rolex master watch, and he sees it's 8:40. And it was just, you read those two and you go, I'm going to buy that watch from the guy on the mountain. It wasn't even close. And you're right, it's a psycho. And we're kind of, our research, our next goal is to be able to provide video for this, exactly what you're talking about. And there's been a lot of people that have played around with it. I think that's the next important thing for us to be able to provide to our customers.
My favorite example of what you're talking about is the man. All right, it's called The Man in the Hathaway Shirt, and it was David Ogilvy, so not Eugene Schwartz.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And he said, when asked, because they were selling a T-shirt, and selling a T-shirt, you're like, okay, well, you're just selling a T-shirt, so why are you putting the eye patch on them? And he said, so I can take it from a product photo shoot to a story, right? And our psychology is reverse engineered to look at stories and identify and be interested in stories. So that's how you grab and keep attention with an eye patch. I want to maybe just kind of shift and maybe transition to the end of this. You guys have a particular model. I mean, there's people that use UpHex to get clients and to do a lot of the different things. Talk to us about the model. How are you using it to get clients, or are you using it to keep them? How are you using UpHex to serve your customer base?
Yeah, Doug, if you just want to talk about the dollar special we're doing to bring them into OAC.
Yeah. I think we're using it as 2 tools in particular. So one, as we were working on the DA system for our martial arts schools, trying to get that completed and up 100%, we used it as a bridge to be able to get people in the door to Dojo Max. And then after they got there, it was like, well, listen, we can do all this other stuff for you as well. The second part of that is there's still, the ads are still so simplistic that it's easy for somebody to come in and again, just try. So we're tossing UpHex out there with our online ads club to our martial arts schools for $1, just going, hey, come in and try it for 30 days and see how you do with this. And of course, 99 out of 100, when they click in there, they're getting amazing results out of that, which again is a good lead in for us to get them into our full virtual assistant program.
That's awesome.
And then
So
for me, it's a great open door policy or stepping stone for them to come in to be able to go, hey, I really love this program. What else do you have? What else do you offer? And then of course, they want to come in and go, hey, we're going to do all this stuff.
That's awesome.
But I'll show you this, Sam. But we looked at this a little while ago, but this is going to be the next niche that we're going to take off on in using UpHex. So that's going to be complete, and within the next 30 days, that's going to be ready to go. So I hope I don't.
Oh man, I'll be very interested to see how y'all do it. I mean, I think that's kind of like such a trend right now. Everybody wants to do it. I think that's awesome. Well, I know you guys are busy. I know you guys got a lot of things going on. I really do appreciate the time that you've given us. Any parting words, anything you want to share with the audience before we end here?
If you don't get involved in UpHex, you're stupid. Does that work for you? Yeah, we'll put that. No, but I tell you, if you are doing Facebook ads, I'll finish with exactly what we said at the beginning. I didn't believe it was real. It is real. That's all you need to know. It's real.
Awesome. Doug,
if you're going to use anything, if you're going to use anything as even remotely close to an agency, you have to have UpHex. You just have to, in order to make things work so much easier for you. And again, my whole goal now is that, I need to collect time as much as I can because I'm on the downward side.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I appreciate both of you. You've been very hat in hand, sharing what you're doing, sharing, more about Dojo Max. Look forward to seeing you guys crush it. And thanks for, being obviously UpHex customers, but also being, I think just an awesome example within the group and within the community. You guys have, awesome engagement and really appreciate everything you do. So thank you.
So
appreciate
one last thing, Sam, in February of each year during Carnival on the island of Cozumel in Mexico, we're holding an event, and maybe a guy like you needs to come down there and be one of our featured speakers.
Which month is that?
February, when it's cold.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, we'll talk about
details. That. I'd love to. I love Cozumel. I love Mexico.
You got it. All right, brother. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Sam. Yep.